Hey guys, today's tutorial will be on making a basic A-line skirt pattern. I'll be going over the few equipment and materials we need, as well as a few measurements, and then we'll just get started. So for the equipment and materials, we'll need a roll of paper, a ruler, a pair of scissors, a pen, and a measuring tape. Okay guys, so first we have a few measurements we need to take before we start pattern making. The first measurement we need will be our waist width measurement, around the smallest width of your body. Divide that by 4 and add 3.5 centimeters. Next is our hip width measurement, so around wherever you can feel your hip bones. Divide that number by 4 and add 3.5 centimeters. Third will be our low hip width measurement. That will be around the largest section of your bottom. Again, divide by 4 and add 3.5 centimeters. Next will be your waist to hip length, so from wherever you consider is your waist to your hip bone, and we'll leave that number as is. Then it's the hip to low hip measurement, so from your hip bone to around the area where the largest section of your bottom is, and we'll leave that number as is. Lastly will be waist or hip to desired length, starting either from waist or hip depending where you want the skirt to sit. We'll call that the full length and add 3.5 centimeters. And those are the measurements you'll need for this tutorial. Okay guys, so first you're going to measure and fold 50 centimeters of this paper. Then you're going to cut along here. Now with the folds of the paper on the left, you're going to measure a mark across your waist width. Measure a mark down your waist to hip length. From that mark, measure a mark across your hip width. Next, measure a mark down your hip to low hip length. Now measure across your low hip width. Next, you're going to measure down your full length. Measure and mark it along the width of the paper a few times. Join the dots. And cut along the line. Join the dots from waist to hip, hip to low hip. From the hip point, draw another line a few degrees away from the low hip point. Continue that angle line till the end of the paper. Okay, so now cut along the drawn lines. And label this as the front A-line skirt pattern. So you're going to fold the paper over, using the front pattern as a guide, adding an extra 3 centimeters for the zip. So now cut along here. Now using the front pattern as a guide, mark across the full length measurement and join the dots. And cut along the line. Now from the fold, measure 3 centimeters and mark along the length. Connect the dots. Label this area as zip allowance. Now again, using the front pattern as a guide, mark and draw along the edges from the waist to the low hip. Dot along the edge, connecting the low hip to full length. Connect the dots. and cut along the lines. Now you'll label this as the back A-line skirt. Now cut along the fold of the back skirt to get you the two separate pattern pieces. Notch the pattern along here, here, and here. Now notch the top of the front pattern. That shows you where the center of the skirt front is. Next, align the back patterns on top of the front patterns and make notches in pairs on the left. And singly on the right side. Okay, so for the waistband, you're going to first measure a mark across the waist width on your folded piece of paper. Then you're going to measure down and mark how thick you want your waistband to be. I'm going for 5 centimeters. Then with whatever width you go for, multiply it by 2 and add 1 centimeter. Measure and draw a line across and up to mark a rectangle. And cut it out. Label it as waistband front. Now open up the folded paper and fold it like so. And fold it across again. Make a notch on the folded side of the pattern and a notch on the other side, but this time on the corner that shares a fold. The notches help you figure out where the waistband center is, as well as where the fabric needs to be folded. Now for the back waistband. Measure a mark 3 centimeters away from the fold of the paper and connect the dots. Now remake the rectangle from this new line, measuring and marking across your waist width and the waistband width and closing off the rectangle. Now cut out the waistband. Open the paper up and fold it like so, and across, then notch the corner on the non-folded side that has a folded edge. Then you're going to open it up and fold it like so and cut along the fold. You now have your separate patterns of each back waistband sides. Label the section where your zip goes in and label the pattern pieces as waistband back. Notch out the top left fold on both patterns like so. And make 2 single notch cuts along the zip allowance to help line up the skirt. And there you have it, a pattern for an A-line skirt. And that's how you make a basic A-line skirt pattern. Look out for our next tutorial, how to make a basic circle skirt pattern. We hope this tutorial helped. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe and share. Thank you for watching.